Go! Collect £200.
So this is the beginner's guide. This is from the guy that created the Stanley Parable, a game which Ben has not played.
I'm sorry, okay?
Well, me too, you know. Yep, these all look like things that I want. Yep. That all appears to be in order. Closed captioning. Which one is closed captioning?
That's subtitles. I think we should go with that.
Full captions. Full captions. It's none or all. Good.
It's all or nothing.
Should we just jump in?
I think we should begin the game.
Begin the gam. Game beginning. Please make sure audio is on. You got it, buddy. Contrails, WASD and mouse.
Only left mouse.
Hi there.
Hi.
Thank you very much for playing the Beginner's Guide.
Well, good.
My name is Davey Reedon.
Hello.
I'm the Stanley Parable.
Told you.
And while that game tells a pretty absurd story, today I'm going to tell you about a series of events that happened between 2008 and 2011.
Go
We're
on.
going to look at the games made by a friend of mine named Coda.
It's not really a name.
Now,
It's
these
a bit
games
silly.
mean a lot to me. I met Coda in early 2009. At
That's
a
when
time
the
I
story's
was
set.
really struggling with some personal stuff. And his work pointed me in a very powerful direction. I found it to be a good reference point for the kinds of creative works that I wanted to make.
Intrigued.
So just
Carry
to
on.
start you off, this is, I think, the first game he ever made.
He thinks.
It's a level for Counter-Strike. You can walk around here, by the way.
I am.
And mostly it's just Coda learning the basics of building a 3D environment.
He's learning how to code
What I
it.
like is
Yeah.
that even though he starts from the simple aesthetic of a desert town,
I like the
he
boxes.
then scatters
too.
these
Ooh.
colorful abstract blobs and impossible floating crates around the level. And of course, it destroys the illusion that this actually is a desert town, and instead this level becomes a kind of calling card
Oh, yeah,
for
there
its
they are.
creator.
See, I told you I like
It's
the
like a
boxes.
reminder that this video game was constructed by a real person.
I'm so
Kind
wise.
of makes you wonder.
Okay.
What was going through his head as he was building this? This is what I like about all of Coda's games. I mean,
Check this out.
Not that they're all fascinating as games, but that they are all going to give us access to their creator. I want us to see past the games themselves. I want to get to know who this human being really is.
Tell us.
And that's exactly what we're going to do.
I feel like you could just tell us.
So,
I feel
it's
like we're in
2008. Coda
a little
starts
bit
making
of that
these
Resident
games,
Evil
and
film.
He never releases any.
Like loads of
He doesn't
Crimson
put
Heads
them
are about
onto
to
the internet.
burst
He just
forth from that
makes them and then immediately abandons
slightly
them, and
ominous
they
looking
sit on
crate.
his computer forever. And I think he really understood
Far
this
too
image of
many
himself
Crimson
as a
Heads for that
recluse.
crate. It was like a
At
clown
one point,
car.
he
I'm just
jokingly
going to talk
renamed
over
his
this
computer's recycling bin
talk over
to
this intro, but I was
Important
listening
Games
about this.
Folder.
I think it was on
So,
Game
you know,
Grumps
this was
probably,
just how he
a really
worked.
old
He
Game
tended to
Grumps.
crank them out one after the other without even
But on
really pausing
no,
to try
on
to
Game Grumps they were
understand
talking
what he
about
just made.
this idea that
suddenly
game
one
reviewers
day,
used
he
called
just
time to
stopped.
crate.
In 2011,
Okay,
So like
I'm
it's
intrigued.
when the
He
game
hasn't
starts
made another
until
one
the first
since.
crate turns up,
And
and you
that's
can
why
measure a
I've taken
game's
this
worth by
opportunity
time
to
to
get all of
crate,
his work
and there's a
together.
crate right
It's
here.
because
So
I find his games powerful.
Does that make it
and
good or bad?
interesting, And I'd like
This is
this
powerful and
collection to reach him,
interesting.
to maybe encourage him to start creating again.
okay,
And if the people like you who play this also happen to find his work interesting, then I'm sure it'll just send that much stronger of a message of encouragement.
I mean you
to
already
him.
have my tenor.
So thanks for
Yeah.
joining me on this. If you have a particular
and his
interpretation
bass
that I
and his
haven't mentioned
alto.
here, or if you just need to get in touch,
Ah,
you
made
can
it
email
musical.
me
Yeah, well
at
done.
DAVEY
Very proud of you.
Thank you.
WREDEN@gmail.com. Okay, that's about it for introduction. Let's take a look at Coda's first project.
So this is already
Okay, is
intriguing.
this-
Each game
Just
is loading. I'll show you the date that it was completed. This first one was made
Is
in
this
November
game? Is
2008.
yeah, exactly. So what were you doing in November 2008? Warning. Whoa.
probably down the pub.
There's no audio.
This game is called Escape from Whisper.
Who's
and
Whisper?
It's one of the more generic games you'll see from Coda.
There's
Ah,
floating blocks. More floaty blocks.
floaty blocks.
This is. I don't. Is this a?
I wouldn't worry too
Are
much
we?
about it.
Are we plotting?
I feel like if you'd played the Stanley Parable, you might have a better idea of the sort of thing that's going to go on here. But like, I actually just wouldn't worry too much about this. For now.
Okay,
I just pretty
I'm-
much go with it.
It kind of looks like this game was abandoned mid-development.
You reckon?
That's
For
what I was
instance,
thinking.
You have this gun, which you'd think would indicate that there are supposed to be monsters or enemies somewhere. But then clearly there are no enemies anywhere. You can't even reload the gun when you run out of bullets.
I run out of bullets.
But ultimately we don't really know.
There it is.
Maybe
There you go.
Coda thought that actually it was complete the way that it is. And I think that we should talk about his games for what they are,
Okay.
rather than for what they're not.
Well,
It's a
I'm,
room
I'm down to clown with this idea.
space.
I love how you can see the bottom of the universe from this room.
Oh my god.
Yep. So he wants us to take these not as games in development, but as.
Apparently this space station has a labyrinth on it.
I mean, what space station doesn't?
Sure, I don't know. There's really no
Serenity
reason for it
didn't.
that I've ever been able to discern, so
Well.
in the interest of time, I'm just gonna skip you on past.
Well, this has a part 2, so Serenity didn't. So,
Oh.
Okay, this is the
right.
part that's interesting.
well,
The game
I was
has
talking
narratives
of- I was talking about the
the
ship
Whisper
Serenity.
and how it has to be turned
Film
off,
Serenity was
and then you
technically
get
part
to the
2,
engine room.
and also a standalone part,
why can't Mal fly Serenity?
because it needs a wash.
Yes, it does.
It's still too soon. It will always be too soon.
Your body could stop the beam.
You want me to what,
So
lady?
much to ask, but for all of our lives, would you do it?
I mean,
It's like Doctor Who's grave in there.
yeah, why not? Boop.
Let me pause here for a second. What you just experienced, stepping into the beam and then dying, is probably what Coda had initially intended when he was developing this level. But when he first compiles and plays it, something goes wrong. There's a bug somewhere.
Right.
And this is what happens instead.
Okay.
Do it again. Oh. Oh.
Oh.
Into space.
I don't like it. I don't like it.
The beam causes you to start floating.
I don't
This
like
is an
it.
And this is
awful
an important
spaceship.
moment for
It's
it.
got no
Because
ceiling.
yes, this is technically a glitch, but Coda identifies something human about it. Like how small it makes you feel in the face of this larger chaotic system. Or this floating could be the afterlife, a peaceful place, juxtaposed against
see
all of the
the,
hysteria that
skybox
you've
there.
just
Yeah.
had to traverse. I don't even know. I have no idea what he was thinking, but what's clear is that after making this, something lodges itself in his brain. He wants to do more of these really weird and experimental designs. So he stops work on this and moves on to a stream of tiny little games that go in all sorts of directions.
Or some of them up.
Let's go ahead and take a look
This
at
one
the first
certainly
game
seems
he
to be
made
up.
after leaving this one behind.
This is more up than a Pixar film.
it.
Finding Nemo.
I get it.
Yeah.
The past was behind her. Sweet. Can't move. Oh, no, I can move.
Yep.
There you go.
In this game, you can only walk backwards.
Oh,
Oh.
come on.
This.
No, I already hate it.
This.
Oh, this is how you get stabbed.
Oh, I feel like. I feel like all the good seats of the people carrier have gone, so I'm now having to sit in the boot,
So it's a short and relatively minimalist experiment combining motion
having
and
to
narrative.
stare at the
It is
faces
less
of
advanced
the
than
ugly
previous
people
game,
driving the
but actually it
Toyota
seems
behind
to
us.
Be more focused, more complete. Coda's trying to give it a unique voice rather than simply basing it on a pre-existing trope.
Ah, that wasn't there a second ago.
So this is just
I reckon-
lots of experimental games
Well,
that will cause anger.
oh God,
It's a
what's
short
it?
little thought.
Ah.
It says what it wants to say, and then it
The
didn't mean
future.
anything more than that.
It
Which
is
to
the
me is why it
unknown.
works, because it gets out quick.
Right.
Okay, next one.
So it doesn't waste time. That's good.
Before I inevitably poop myself, shall we call it end of part 1?
I'm gonna say end of part 1 because I feel like I'm already uneasy.
Yeah. See you in part 2.
Bye.